So the last few weeks, what have I been talking on? Do you guys remember? What? You weren't here. The true vine. So here, I bought this vine to let you have a visual of what I'm trying to talk about. Now this is the third time I'm speaking about this, and how Jesus says, because these are Jesus' words before he goes to the cross. And he says, I am the true vine, my Father is the gardener, the vine dresser. And it says that, my Father prunes and he cultivates. And he also says that very scary part about if you're not producing fruit, he'll also cut it off. He'll also cut you off. Okay? This is something that you guys have to know as true. These are things that people don't want to preach about, and it's hard to preach about, because then the question is, well, if I come back, will he take me? Of course he will take you. But if you don't bear fruit while you say that you are believing in him, he will cut you off. And that is a very scary thing, and that is something that you need to know can and does happen. Okay? So, the first week that I had this, during the week when I come here, I watered it and I cultivated it. But last week, I just let it dry out. But what I want to show you is, these I actually plucked off the vine. Because remember, it says, stay with me, abide in me, cling on to me, stay within me. That's what we talked about last week. Now, even though I haven't watered it, and it is kind of drying out. If you look at it closely, you see that it is drying out and the leaves are a little withering, but still it's alive. Do you see that? Still the plant is alive. It's not dead. It's alive. It's still hanging on to the vine. And it's still living, even though it's getting a little dried out because it's not been watered. But if you look at my branches that I completely cut off, they're dead. They're completely withered and drying out. Do you see that? So as long as you stay on the vine, you're going to be okay. But if you get off the vine, if you get cut off the vine, or if you pull yourself off the vine, then you're going to end up withering and drying out. Okay, that's why it's very important that we stay on the vine. Okay, amen? Let's read the next passage. 15, verse, help me someone. Verse 5, I think. I'm the vine, is that what it says in the okay. Tim, can I have you read it for me? Because I don't have my glasses, so I can't see it anymore. 15, verse 5. 6 and 7. Keep reading till I tell you to stop.
I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he bears much fruit. For apart from me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away as a branch and dries up. And they gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. My Father is glorified by this, that you bear much fruit and so prove to be my disciples.
Okay, that's good. Just up to there today. So here it says, I am the vine, and then who does it address? You are the branches. The first part of the paragraph, it says, I am the vine, and my Father is the husbandman, my Father is the gardener, my Father is the vine dresser, right? But now in this paragraph, I am the vine, and you are the... So now it's talking about you. It's talking about you. And what does it say you should be doing? Remain in... What does it say? Remain in me. Abide in me, right? It says remain in me. And then you will do what? If you remain in me, I will remain in you, and you will do what? You will both bear fruit. The bearing fruit is not up to you. You don't have to bear any fruit. You don't have to produce any apples or oranges. God bears the fruit. All you have to do is remain in him. Amen? He says, if you do not remain in me, then you will what? Wither wither? You will wither and dry. Look. You will wither and dry, and you will be thrown into the fire and burned. Okay? So if you don't remain in him, if you do not remain in Jesus, then your future, what will come up is that you will just wither and dry out. You will die. Are you following me? Only with Jesus do you have life. Write it down. Only with Jesus do you have life. So this is my conclusion. There is a lot of people out there that are living, but they are dead. They may be breathing and functioning and eating and doing things, but they are living a dead life because no fruit is producing forth from them. And here's another fact. We were made to produce and bear fruit. Do you get it? If you plant an apple tree and it grows into a beautiful tree, but there is no apples coming forth from it, then is that tree useful for what it was planted for? It may be a beautiful tree for birds to come and sit in, but it's not doing what it was planted to do. Are you following me? It's not producing forth its apples. We too were made to bring forth fruit. But if we don't stay with Jesus, then the fruit will not be produced in us. Therefore, we're not doing what we were created to do. Are you following me? And if we don't do what we were created to do, then it's like we're dead. We may be living, that apple tree grew, but it still did not produce the apples. Are you following me? Are you with me? This is very, very important when it comes to what kind of life and what we're living for, why we are here. Amen? Are you following me? So the key here is, if you abide in me, and I will abide in you, and then there's nothing you cannot do. But it says, if you go away from me, then you can do what? You can do nothing. If you don't stay with him, you can't do anything. But as long as you are with him, you can do what? Everything. There's nothing you cannot do. Amen? You gotta know that. There's nothing you cannot do. Amen?
Amen.
So we as Christians gotta live on the edge. We're not supposed to live a safe life. We should be able to live on the edge. What am I saying? We should take this verse and say, I am abiding in God. I am abiding in Jesus. And Jesus is abiding in me. So stuff that I cannot do, stuff that I am not good at doing, I can do it. I can do it. Because Jesus is inside of me. And those are the things you guys need to reach out and do. And that's when you start producing the fruit that God has called you to do. If we continually live a safe life and just do the things that we think we can do, you will not see the amazing fruit that you can produce in your life. Are you following me? So we got to make the most of those opportunities that come our way. And not say, I can't do it. But say, because Jesus lives in me, there's nothing I cannot do. It's a whole different way of thinking, you guys. Are you following me? Amen? Amen? I challenge you, especially you young people, because you're young, so you can make some mistakes along the way. I challenge you guys to go forth and do something you're just not good at. And see what happens. You know, I don't like to do things with my hands because my family trait is we shake. Our hands shake, especially when I'm nervous, I shake. And then as my grandmother got older, she shook more, and my father has a shaking problem. And I kind of have it too. I don't have a shaking problem because of age, but it's hard for me to control it, especially when I'm nervous. That's why I never preach with a written copy, because if I look at it and I hold it, I shake. I shake really bad. So anyhow, I don't like doing things with my hands. So my mom's like, why don't you become a dental technician? And I'm like, Mom, I can't do that because my hands shake. My hands shake, anything. Like, I like doing nails and stuff when I was younger, especially. I used to like paint my nails and do all different colors and stuff. And my mom's like, why don't you be a nail technician, make some extra money? I'm like, I can't do that because my hands shake. It always limited me, but who knows if I stepped out in that, what God would have done with that. Amen? When I was in Bolivia, one day, maybe we should turn the camera. No, when I was in Bolivia, I took a day out and I went and got my nails done. I went and got my nails done in the middle of the mission trip. I left all the kids to do mission work, and I went out into the middle of town, and I went and got my nails done because I heard in Bolivia it's really cheap. It is cheap. It's not very sanitary, but it is cheap. So anyhow, I went and got my nails done, and then I was feeling really guilty. It's like, oh, you're sitting, relaxing and getting pampered while the kids are like praying and getting ready to go. Because that was the day you guys went out to the streets to witness, and they're getting ready to go witness, and I'm sitting here and like getting my nails done. And I was really kind of bad. So I was like, God, how can I turn this into a God thing? And so I started praying, and then God started speaking to me about the woman that was doing my nails. And so I started talking to her, and I said, you're going through some hard times. I feel like God is telling me that you're just really going through a hard time, something about your children, you're saving money to give to your child's not with you right now, and I'm just telling her these things, and she's like freaking out. She's like, what are you, are you a psychic? I'm like, no, I'm not a psychic. I just feel as though God is telling me these things, and I wanted to let you know that God knows who you are and God loves you very much. And so it turned out a time where I could share the gospel of Christ with her. Well, if I was a nail technician, I could do that all day long. God, who knows what God would have turned, if I had gone beyond my limits, what God would have turned that into.